All right, everybody. Thanks for coming, and let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
So, standards. Tracy, what standards did we decide on?
Okay, so we're looking at 3OA-A1.
Okay.
That's our third grade standard. And that's interpreting products of whole numbers. For example, interpreting 5 by 7 as total number of objects in 5 groups of 7 objects each.
Okay, got it. And so our outcome today, we're hoping to get through the part where we study the standards, look before, after, all that good stuff. And just think about a couple of norms while we're here together. Remember that we've got our new teacher with us, so we're going to slow it down and
Thank you.
please ask any questions that you got as we go through.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that.
All right. Okay, good. All right, then. Well, let's just dig in then. Part 2, where let's start looking at the standards.
Okay.
Can I start with, I hope that you all really were honest when you said I could ask any question.
Yes.
This idea, I'm looking at 3OA-A1, and the first word in there is interpret. Now, what does that really look like when we're talking about kids interpreting the products of a whole number?
Well, let's go back to when you were in school. How did you learn multiplication?
Memorization.
And so one fact, 5 times 7 is what?
35.
What does that mean?
It means there are 7 groups of 5. 5 times 7, there are 5 groups of 7.
Okay, so you understand that. You can interpret what you're doing.
Yeah.
Too often, when we memorize things,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
You know it's 35, but why the heck is it 35? We don't know.
Okay, so it's really about them being able to explain what that means.
I mean, that's what I take. Is
Okay.
it, Tracy, what you...
Yeah,
Okay.
all right. You.
Okay, then I'm good.
I
Alrighty.
think that's perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So we've established third grade. So I looked on the coherence map on my computer to see what they had listed for second grade, what comes in.
Okay.
And one of them was the same as our remediation guide, and one was different. So I wanted to talk to you about, on the remediation guide, it mentioned the 2OAC4, which is the adding using arrays. Only 5 rows, 5 columns, I get it, but
Right.
but the adding using arrays, that one was on the coherence map. They also had on our remediation guide about this odd or even numbers.
Yep.
On the coherence guide, it talked about skip counting as one of the other ones. I kind of like that idea. Skip counting kind of leads into multiplication. So I'm not sure why they had this one, but so anyway, I wanted to add a third one, basically, is what I'm trying to say, is that idea of NBT2 skip counting. We might want to keep that in mind, too, that they come in knowing that.
So I think what we see in second grade when they talk about odd and even numbers, even numbers, of course, is they're both counting by 2s, just starting with a different number. So when you count even numbers, it's 0, 2, 4, 6, odds 1, 3, 5, 7. They're both skipping 2, so it's still skip counting. They're related ideas.
Oh, I like that. See, I've never taught the really young grades, so I like that, what you just said.
Yep.
I never thought of skip counting the odds.
Yeah, so it's just you start with 1 instead of 0.
Okay. Okay.
So this is their first time with multiplication, right? Even this year, this is their first foray into multiplication?
This unit, this
Okay.
whole unit is.
Okay.
The lesson that we're going to consider is the second lesson, but it is the first time they've been in. Which leads us to the next question: is what do you think the rigor? What level of rigor do you think we're at if we're just at the introductory phase?
We're at the conceptual understanding, right?
Yeah, I would think
We're
so.
just trying to get the basic understanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. So anything else? Let's go through that checkpoint list. Make sure we talked about what we're. Do we have the key learning expectations?
Did we get any fourth grade standards that tie to it?
Good idea.
Did
Fourth
you
grade.
have any? Because I don't see anything in the.
not jokingly, I put OA for OA, like literally all of fourth grade.
Wow.
I put, because seriously, I wrote down the main head, and it's using 4 operations to solve problems. That's multiplication. Factors and multiples.
Okay.
Okay,
That's multiplication.
Right.
And then looking for patterns,
okay.
which is
Okay.
also multiplication. So I think what I noticed by looking at fourth grade is we got a big job to do in third grade,
Okay.
because they're going to use it a lot in fourth grade.
Yeah, and all that ties really well with the cluster heading for the third grade standards.
Which is what?
Representing and solving problems involving multiplication and division.
So we've done addition and subtraction.
Yeah.
Now we're doing multiplication and division, and fourth grade pulls all 4 together?
Yeah.
Okay. In second grade, they never mentioned multiplication. That's what Barbara said, right? This is the
Yeah.
first time multiplication. So we
have to
should
check.
not expect them to come in with that vocabulary. They come in with what vocabulary?
Repeated addition
Repeated addition
and arrays.
and arrays. Okay.
Okay.
Just what kind of vocabulary I can expect them to. All right. Back to the checklist. Specific strategies called for by the standards.
Okay, so
I think
the
we did
idea
that.
of arrays, yeah.
Yeah. Prerequisite skills or strategies. We talked about that. About addition, arrays, skip counting. New strategies.
Groupings, so we're gonna do multiplication, I think, in 2 ways, grouping and arrays, but this particular lesson is on arrays. But
Okay.
it does bring up the idea of grouping and make the connection from counting objects in groups, equal groups, to moving to objects in arrays, rows and columns.
And then we talked about the rigor.
Okay.
So, do we feel like we have a pretty good idea of what we should be seeing when we look at the
Yes.
lesson?
I do now.
Okay.